Hello, we're going to be altering our asteroids now. What we're going to do is make it so when they're hit, they break up into smaller pieces rather than just detonate. So the first thing we're going to do is let's click on the asteroid field in our hierarchy here. I'm going to click on asteroid number, let's go asteroid number 3 here because it's easy to grab. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to right click that and I'm going to duplicate it. And you can see it creates asteroid number 5 right here. I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to click on the move tool and I'm going to drag this new instance out right here. And then I'm going to click on the scale tool right here and I'm going to make that a bit smaller, maybe about that big. Okay, I'm also going to rename this. I'm going to call this pieces. I guess in caps, that doesn't matter. And I'm going to click on this destroy action script here, and I am going to change this to this object. And I am also going to change the death effect. I'm going to click on that little tiny circle right there, and I'm going to click on assets instead of scene, and I'm going to do an impact, the P impact right here. I'm just going to double click that, and you can see that that changes that effect right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yes, that should be good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to grab this pieces instance and I'm going to slide it into here and I'm going to create an original prefab right here. So there it is. There's the pieces prefab and I'm going to delete this pieces now because I do not need it anymore. So I'm going to remove it. Okay. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to have it so when you hit the asteroid, instead of blowing up, it kind of spawns these pieces. So what we'll do is we'll click on our asteroid 2 here, because this is our original prefab, and this will affect all other instances of the prefab. And I am going to just going to collapse some of these. And I'm going to go to the conditions collision script right here. And you can see here is the gameplay action. It's destroy action. We don't want that one anymore. We're going to click and highlight that in blue. And I'm going to click the little minus button there. And we're going to add a new gameplay action. I'm going to click plus, and I am going to go down to the on-off action right there. So on-off action, and you can see here's the on-off action right here. We are not going to drag anything to here yet. We're going to do that for each individual asteroid. So leave that for now. The next thing we want to do is we want to go back up to our conditions collision script, and I'll collapse this to make it easier to see. We're on our conditions collision script, and I'm going to click the little plus button here, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to do a create object action right there. Once I do that, you can see it asks you, here's the create object action script, prefab to create. And the prefab, of course, is we want to create these little tiny pieces. So it turns the asteroid off and then it creates those pieces. And you also want to click off the relative to this object. That means it'll spawn in the center at 0, y, x and y 0, 0 at the center of your object. Okay, we're going to do this 3 more times. So I'm going to click plus, I'm going to do create object action, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it 1 more time. And I'm just going to scroll down here, I'm going to collapse this one because that one's done. Here is the next one, I'm just going to drag the little pieces prefab out, I'm going to check that box relative to this object, and then I'm just going to proceed to do that for the next 2, and that should be almost done. Okay, they're all completed. And I'm just going to collapse everything here. You can see it turns the asteroid off when it's hit, and then it creates these 4 prefabs. It creates the objects 4 times. So I'm going to collapse that so everything there looks good to go. I'm going to go over to my hierarchy and click on this little back button here. So there's my hierarchy. And I've got one more thing to do. I need to click on each individual asteroid. And you can see because this is the prefab, it's populated the instances with the same components. But I do need to click on the on-off action script and I need to drag this game object into that. So object to effect is this object. Okay, I'm going to click on the next one up. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to go up 1 more. I'm going to drag it. I'm going to do the same thing. And finally, I'm going to do the last one here. Okay, so now everything should be set up. The true test is really if it works or not. So let's click on the play button up here and get ready on our keyboard to see how things go. I'm just going to kind of try and move away from Sinistar there. And there you go, bang! That's pretty cool. It like breaks those objects up, and if I hit them again, you'll notice it actually, well, I got hit too many times there, but it actually destroys those little objects. So it definitely adds a much higher level of difficulty to your game. So hopefully this has helped a little bit and kind of expands your gameplay.